Robin has a question for James Brokenshire. James, he wants to know, will you apologise to Sir Roger Scruton for colluding in the disgraceful stitch-up by George Eaton of the New Statesman and reinstate Sir Roger in the position to which he, Mr Brokenshire, appointed him to? Mr Brokenshire dismissed Sir Roger unfairly without notice, without checking the facts and without Sir Roger being given any chance to answer the allegations made against him. On the face of it, it did seem a little hasty for you to sack him within 5 hours of this article appearing, and we now know that he didn't say the things that were attributed to him.
Well, obviously, the reporting in the New Statesman, the publication itself, is looking into the nature of that interview. And I've over many weeks when Sir Roger was appointed, I defended his right of free speech.
We should explain to those who are unfamiliar with this story. He was appointed as Bill.
It was the Building Better, Building Beautiful Commission, something that Sir Roger and I really have a passion for, and how we get a better built environment, so that we're creating places and spaces that sort of have that sense of identity, a sense of belonging in that way. And obviously the New Statesman article appeared, and it has been effectively a complete distraction from a lot of the work that we wanted to take forward, and I think that sort of, for me, has been part of the real challenge. Following Sir Roger's appointment, there was a lot of criticism at that time, a lot of focus on other issues, and the article, notwithstanding some of the current analysis or current rechecking or reflections on this, went back over a number of those issues. So it certainly meant that we would be going over all of that work. It would be a further distraction as well, and obviously there were still some comments that were there.
You gave in to a Twitter mob, didn't you? And you surely you have to admit that it would, in hindsight, and we can all change things in hindsight, it would have been better to have actually got to the real truth of what was said, rather than just relied on the words that were said to have appeared in the New Statesman.
Well, obviously it wasn't sort of a Twitter mob in that way, and I want to be very clear on this. It was the fact that we were effectively having to return to issues that had been dealt with before, and even with the subsequent reporting and subsequent further context to this, some of the comments that were made were still significantly controversial.
Even though you've seen the transcript, you maybe have even heard the tapes, I don't know, you've seen the reporting, and you've heard now what Sir Roger has had to say, because I gather you didn't even put the allegations to him at the time. Are you saying that decision is not going to be reversed?
Well, Sir Sir Roger I have spoken to since, but Nicholas Boyd-Smith, who's an existing commissioner, will be taking over as acting chair of the Building Better, Building Beautiful Commission, because it is just that regret that I have, and I have a huge amount of respect and acknowledgement for Sir Roger's focus on aesthetics, how he is a leader in his field in relation to that, all those things that I wanted him to do for the project.
Shouldn't you have spoken to him at the time when you sacked him?
I think in hindsight, I look back on the handling of this, and yes, I think that we could have done things differently, and that's something that I do acknowledge.
Okay.
And so it is difficult. I'm very saddened by the whole situation as to how this has occurred, and I very firmly thank and recognise all of the work that Sir Roger has done on this, and my acknowledgement for him.